Hey eTALK, this is Tara Slone. Welcome to the set of my latest video, The Perfect Girl. Come see. I listen for things while I'm looking for the bad things, so I didn't even see you smile. My world all over again, suspicious, unaggressive, and I still can't look you in the eye.
Start off with, tell me about the premise of the video you're shooting today.
The premise of the video is that I am, it's sort of a bit of an apology song. It's basically me talking about how imperfect I am, but how okay that is. And it's me and a boy. And I get to make out with him, which is terribly exciting.
So do you have much say in how the video is going to look, the concept for the video? Or?
Yeah, I actually went through the treatment with the director, Marc-Andre de Bruin. So yeah, I had full say. I'm a grown-up now. I know what I want.
So do you have many, like you go, oh, I want this, and he's like, no, I want this. Is there much clashing, or is it?
We're both artistes, so yeah, I mean, we get along really well, but we snap at each other a little bit. It's fine.
Solo album, it's been out since March.
Mm-hmm.
Has the nerves sort of disappeared? Or they're still there, just as strong? Because this is your third video now for this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm anxious for people to pick up the record and to enjoy it, but my fans love it, so I'm just happy I got to put it out. I mean, I feel really lucky.
Nice. You stated this album is like your baby. It's something that means the world to you. Why is that?
When I was in Joy Drop, I didn't do a whole lot of the writing. So yeah, this album is like a coming out for me because I wrote the whole thing with my co-writer Jordan Zadarozny, and in Joy Drop I didn't do a whole lot of writing, so it was really, it's me, and a lot of my heart is in it.
Just Look Pretty and Sing. Why call it that?
I call the album Just Look Pretty and Sing. It's sort of a commentary on the entertainment industry in general, or specifically the rock and roll business. Unfortunately, there aren't a whole lot of women who are doing rock. And when I was out on the road with Joy Drop, oftentimes I would do an interview, and the first thing that would come out of the interviewer's mouth would be like, "Hey, you're really hot." And of course, you know, I'm glad they find me attractive, but I always want to talk about the music first.
Mm-hmm. So do you sort of saying that, yes, women aren't really taken seriously in the music?
Well, it's rock and roll more. I mean, it's disappointing how few women are being played on rock radio. And I understand that there, it's sort of a fine balance. I understand that how you're portrayed in the media is very important, and I don't take it for granted that, I might be pretty. But, it's important. I understand that. Mm-hmm. And I certainly play with that too. But, yeah, I always want to talk about the music first.
Well, I noticed that Kelly Clarkson in the last few months has been taking a very strong stand mm-hmm. against people go, no, do it like this. And she's very publicly going out and saying, no, I want to do it my way, like mm-hmm. this. Are you going to take that step as well and very publicly, or are you just going to fight it in a different sort of way? Well,
I mean, I talk about it a lot. I mean, I definitely talk about the lack of women in the world of rock and roll. I feel very strongly about that. I have a plan. I mean, I think I'm going to make a full-on rock record next because that's what I want to do. And so did I just say that? I'm in trouble. But yeah, I mean, I understand. Like Kelly Clarkson was sort of shaped at the beginning by this machine that is American Idol, and when I got my first record deal, I also, there was a lot of trepidation and fear, and you wanted to please everybody. And as you progress in your career, you understand that you have to pick your battles and you have to fight for what you believe in because, you don't want to... Things in the media, they stick, A video is out there for everyone to see and an album is out there for everyone to hear. So you need to stand up for what you believe in.
You mentioned earlier you worked very closely with Jordan in writing this album.
Mm-hmm.
How did that all come about?
I am a huge fan of Jordan Zadarozny's band, Blinker the Star. He's just one of the most talented songwriters I know. And I was fortunate enough to run into him, and it was just as Joy Drop had broken up. and I was looking actively for someone to co-write with, and he was all for it. So I went up to his place in Pembroke, Ontario, and we gave it a try, and there was no reason for me to look any further.
So how much, because you guys saying he co-wrote a lot, did he bring more out? Did he just, a whole new angle did he bring to the table that you were like, oh, I really like, wow? I
think Jordan is a perfect counter to me. I think, you know, I probably err on the side of simplicity, and he, I don't want to say err, but I mean, he's sort of, his musical mind is probably more complicated or elaborate. So we balanced each other really well, and he was so encouraging and generous that I think it really brought out the best in me.
I was reading some more Hall & Oates.
I love Hall & Oates.
You wouldn't even think about looking at something like that, and then when he came in, he brought...
Jordan just loves music so much, and we just spent all of our spare time listening to his records. You know, he's got this outstanding record collection, and he's got very eclectic taste. So yeah, he reintroduced me to some bands I hadn't listened to for a long time, and like Hall & Oates, who I now have an incredible appreciation for musically.
One of the songs on your album, My Little Secret, is written in both French and English. Why do both versions?
I was born in Montreal, so it was important to me to at least represent a little bit and sing it in French. I mean, I'm not 100% bilingual, but, you know, I'm from there.
You have a little French in you.
I have a little French in me. That's disgusting.
Another song on the album was one that you performed on Rockstar in Excess, the David Bowie song.
Yeah.
Why did you want this on the album so much?
When I did Suffragette City on Rockstar, I got totally panned, and the judges were totally wrong. And it's one of my favorite Bowie tracks, and so it was time to do it for the world. So I'm proud of it.
So you're saying the judges were totally wrong on Rockstar. Do you feel that you were portrayed differently than what you actually are on that show?
No, I don't think I was portrayed differently, but I think that I wasn't exactly a judge favorite. And it's really weird. It was weird for me to be in that position, to be an underdog. It's not a very comfortable place to exist. So at a certain point, I felt like I really honestly couldn't do any right. And, you know, what it did is really confirm for me that writing and performing my own music is what I'm meant to be doing.
So after In Excess, Supernova you were just like, no, I've done the one reality show, that's it.
Would I have gone on Rockstar Supernova?
Yeah.
Hell no. No, I mean, I don't regret having done Rockstar, and, you know, I learned a lot of important lessons, but it's a tough experience. I mean, I really wouldn't recommend it for anybody. It preys on hope and fear. And, it's just, if you have any insecurity in you, it's going to amplify that. I think it brought out the best in me and the worst in me. It's a hard place to be. But I did wish that I had done Supernova instead of In Excess, because that would be more musically appropriate for me. But, bygones.
Exactly. Talking about Joy Drop, how collaborating with the band, you didn't do much writing in this, you had it all. Mm-hmm. A lot more of that in the future, or are you thinking, maybe I'm going to go back, start another band? I certainly will always be one of the primary songwriters in any project I'm involved in. But the world is my oyster, I feel. Like I can, sure, maybe I'll start a band. I'm sure I'll do another solo record. Who knows? It's just, music is fun. Mm-hmm. So I'm just going to keep doing it. Will we ever see Joy Drop get back together again, do a little reunion?
We have talked about Joy Drop getting back together. I don't know if a couple of members know that. I mean, of course, a few of us have thought of it, but I'm not sure.
Returning to the theater roots for you, would you get more? Would you want to get more into acting?
Yeah, I mean, I went to theater school. I did a lot of theater and television and film, and my music career just kind of took off, and I went with that. But sure, I'm open to anything. Whatever. Common thing nowadays, singers jumping in. Yeah, I mean, in this industry, I think you have to have many irons and many fires, and the more you do, the better. The better chance you have of making a living.
32. And you've already accomplished so much at such a young age. Where do you go from here? Like, what's something you haven't done that you're like, I want to get this done at some point?
I would like to achieve enlightenment. I'm serious. I don't know. I mean, I definitely, the entertainment industry is where I feel comfortable. I'm doing some TV hosting, which is fun. And I don't know, we'll see where that goes. Ideally, I'd like to have a show where I get to travel around the world and eat and drink wine. How about that?